How to keep customers coming back for more. Hi, I'm David Campbell. I'm the owner and founder of Black Belt Marketing Agency, and I've trained and taught at several locations for almost 20 years. In today's video, we're going to talk about 3 different ways you can keep customers coming back for more. Martial arts gyms have one of the highest churn rates of all business types. The estimated churn rate is between 30 and 50%, and it's even higher for poorly ran gyms. So that means the average martial arts gym is losing a customer every 2 to 3 months, which also means that they need to constantly bring in new students in order to just stay afloat. But this is like putting a Band-Aid on an open artery. You need to address the underlying issue. If you can cut your churn in half, you can essentially double your business. How does that math? So if you have a customer that stays for 2 months and you make $100 off every month that they stay, then you make $200 for that customer. But if you have a customer that stays for 4 months and you make that same $100, you now make $400 off that very same customer. See where I'm going with this? Now, if you keep the recommended cost to acquire a customer at 3 to 1, which is every dollar you spend, you get 3 back, you can now afford to spend $133 as opposed to the previous $66 you could afford. The additional benefit of being able to spend more on advertising is that your current students will see the influx of new students coming in, and hive mind effect will take place, and they'll want to stay even longer. Also, it makes your current students feel better about their progress because they're constantly reminded of where they were and how far they've come. This will give you a sort of domino effect that once you start down this path, it'll help everything improve even more. That's great, David, but you haven't told me how to actually fix the problem. You're right. Let's dive straight into the 3 ways you can keep customers coming back for more. Way number 1, which I think is one of the easiest to implement while also having a great effect, is exit interviews. You don't have to change a lot about your business. Just add a clause in your contracts and let the customers know that when they leave, they need to do an exit interview. Not only does this give you valuable insight on how to improve your business, but it also gives you a chance to save the customer. If you can save even 25% of people with an exit interview, you're already halfway into cutting your churn in half, which doubles your business. The second way that you can keep customers coming back for more is attendance tracking. But David, I already do attendance tracking. Most gyms I've trained at do, but they make a few minor mistakes that are easy to fix. The first mistake I see a lot of gyms make when tracking attendance is not checking in on their students the moment their attendance starts to fall off. A lot of times they'll wait till they haven't been there for a week or 2 weeks, and by then it might be too late. It's a lot easier to put out a spark than it is a forest fire. The second mistake I see a lot of gyms make when it comes to attendance tracking is automating their checkup messages. The reason checking in on your students is so effective is that it shows that you care about whether they showed up or not. And if you automate those messages, and yes, they can tell, it doesn't have that same effect. One secret hack to letting your students know you care about them is to actually care about them. Mind-blowing, I know, right? So while you should definitely systemize your attendance tracking, you want to do that personal touch on the checkup messages. The third mistake I see a lot of gyms make when it comes to attendance tracking is making it hard to check in. If it's too hard, too complicated, or takes too long, a lot of people will skip it entirely, making it worthless. So make it as easy as possible to check in for attendance. There's a multitude of other ways to keep your customers coming back for more, but the third and final one we'll talk about in this video is events. If the only events you're getting all or most of your students to come to is promotions, the good news is there's a lot of room to grow. I highly recommend having an event every 6 to 8 weeks. From Nerf nights to pizza parties, there's a multitude of different types of events you can run. And you can also even charge for these events, making extra revenue, though I highly recommend you keep these fees small. This is also a great way to get new students. Tell your current students to bring their friends to these events, and towards the end or at the end of the event, invite those friends to try your classes. And these trials will have similar close rates to referrals because that's essentially what they are. Bonus tip, your current students are more likely to stay longer if they have their friends in class. These new signups will also help or even cover the entire cost of these events. One crucial detail that I think I should mention is when you're running these events, make sure to let everyone know either before the event or during the event when the next event will be. This keeps the loop open and incentivizes people to stay for the next one. Like I said, there's a multitude of ways to decrease churn. So let me know in the comments below some of the ways you're keeping your customers coming back for more. I'll see you next time.